Hello everyone and welcome back to my Berserk manga read through, where today we are starting volume 9 and we will be at chapter 37. So last time we read through another few chapters which resulted in Guts leaving the Band of the Hawk. He had his final farewell. So I believe it was snowy evening and morning of departure that we read last time. So that's where we end off. Guts has walked away from the Band of the Hawk. He bested Griffith. Griffith overthought his strategy of what he was going to do to get Guts on the shoulder. And Guts swung his sword so powerfully it busted right through Griffith's sword and landed right on his shoulder, doing no damage to him whatsoever. Doing no damage to him whatsoever because he has such a control over that sword. So we're starting with volume 9, and instead of me painfully trying to search for a relevant background image each time for these read throughs, getting fantasy art and cool pieces of concept art, we're just going to be running with the probably what could have been done from the beginning is just the volume cover art instead. We'll just blur that over the background, so we just it always shows which volume we're in, which is pretty cool. It's a shame I can't go back and remaster previous episodes without having to remove it and re-upload it. I wish that I could somehow use magic to re-edit my previous episodes so they all consistently look good. But it evolves over time. I like to think that there are subtle improvements or things that I can do with the time that I have to make it an enjoyable experience. And again, I'll take that opportunity to say, guys, I've really appreciated reading along this saga with you so far. We're already at volume 9, which feels amazing. I believe there is 40 volumes at the moment, so we're almost a quarter of the way through the story of Berserk, and we're only moving through it faster at this stage with doing 2 episodes a week, which I have been managing. Life's been a little bit busy, so if it ever does drop back down to 1 a week temporarily, I hope you guys will understand. But at this point in time, it's been okay. We've been able to do the 2 episodes a week with everything else that's going on. But let's jump into volume 9 now. Again, reading the digital version, there are different translations, so the chapters in these versions will be different to what they can be called in other releases. So, for example, chapter 37, which we'll be reading today, is known as Skull Knight. In this version, however, in this book, with this very interesting cover piece of Griffith for Volume 9, it is called Night of Skeleton. We've got Night of Skeleton, Start of the Everlasting Night, The Fallen Hawk, and Demise of a Dream. So those are the 4 chapters we'll be reading today, which will make for a very interesting title. Usually I've been able to fit the chapter titles in the YouTube title just fine, but these are some long ones, so who knows how I'll put this one together. We'll see. You guys already know. I'll figure that one out later. So we've got quite a few. Wow. We have quite a few chapters in this volume. Whoa. That looks absolutely incredible. Can I just for a second, we'll just quickly remove the brand for a minute. Look at this. I might just be able to, I can't perfectly fit it in the frame that we have. That looks cool, huh? That looks really cool. Excuse me while I save that and go and get that tattooed on me immediately. Because, wow, that's so cool. Alright, sorry, copyright brand goes back on. The brand of copyright. That looks so cool. So, Skull Knight / Night of Skeleton is the name of this chapter. the moon shines down ever so bright. Over all of the trees and the forests and the mountains. Guts' own singular bonfire of one dream. His one bonfire. He hears noises though, and he picks up his sword. Oh. Four-legged companion in the background. So he's been watched by an owl, stalked by a wolf. Why am I so scared? Alone. Yeah, it's been a while since I camped alone like this. When I think about it, I haven't been truly alone once these 3 years. I'd forgotten the sense of unease unless my sword's right next to me. I'd forgotten that the night was this vast, this deep. Of course, I could have avoided nights like this back then. I never even thought to try. Maybe I'm once again trying to throw away something irreplaceable that I'll never have again. To be honest, as long as I can feel warm, isn't that good enough? Am I trying to let go of an irreplaceable today for some vague tomorrow I might never find, if it even exists? I actually think that's one of the best lines that I've read in this book so far, on this page. How many of you guys have asked yourself that question in any way, shape, or form? Because I know I have. There have certainly been many periods of my life that I've been in, that I am still currently in, where I've asked myself a question along these same lines of, like, is what I have right now the best thing that I will have, or like one of the best things that I'll have? And is the dream that I'm chasing, or is something that I want tomorrow something that will be better than this? Will I even achieve it? This panel really resonates with me. I love Guts as a character so much. There's so much to him. There's so much to all of these characters. Like, there isn't a character that I've come across that has had like substantial time in the book. There are some particular characters, for example, Donovan, who should be deleted from existence and put through all of the numerous versions of torture that exists. But they're like the characters that we see for really long periods of time, or like that are kind of the mainstays. I don't hate any of them, like, because, you know, Caucus is a jerk, but even then, like, there's a lot to him, and there's a reason why he acts the way that he does. He doesn't act the way that he does without reason. He's not just written as a jerk with no depth. Like, he's got character to him and a lot going on there. But yeah, there's not like a single person of the Band of the Hawk that I'm like, yeah. Like Griffith, we know he's truly the villain of the whole thing. But he's a great character. He's a very well written character. Yeah, really like this panel. Even without some big exaggerated dream, people go on living. In the first place, I got this idea in my head hearing Griffith's words. If I hadn't... So... can I say I've set out by my own will? After all, you can never become Griffith. That's not today anymore. It's yesterday. Ooh, as we hear some... It's almost like some lightning or effects or something going on, making a large noise, and then a very, very large looming shadow over Guts. As he quickly turns around and grabs his sword. Oh, wow. Oh. What was that? That bloodthirstiness? A beast? No. I remember this. This is... this savagery that feels like it clings. Could it be? Nosferatu Zod. I think the chapter title might have given it away though. There's the shadow behind him. It blindsided me that easily. I couldn't even react. I can't move. If I move, that's when I'll be killed. Quickly, desperately swings to dodge out of the way. Look at this! Look at the sweat that's coming off of him too. Only to turn around and see. Oh, only to turn around and see it dissipate. Whatever was there, falling apart. With this floating in the void, and then appearing out of that void, our Knight of Skeleton. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Check that out. There you go. That's like the rows of thorns we were seeing around the skull. It's like a brand on the armor there. Impossible. I'm sure he was right behind me. I've never misread an enemy's presence once. I could have sworn he was trying to bring his sword down on me. Zod? No, it's not. But this weird, unreal feeling. So the gears have indeed begun turning. Gears? What's that mean? You, struggler, take heed. Struggler? 1 year hence shall be the time of the eclipse. You and your friends, those yet unseen of the fleshless flesh, that unkingly half of yours shall all be then gathered in that place. A torrent of madness, a tempest of death for which the human body could never atone, shall sweep over you. Look at this. Look at this here. That's incredible. But take heed, struggler. You were born from a corpse and began your life from death in the mud. You are closer to death than anyone, thus you excel in escaping it. Who is this? Struggle, contend, wriggle. That alone is the sword of one who confronts death. Never forget this. Who the hell are you? How do you know about me? In the abyss of despair, only he who stands up with broken sword in hand, perhaps. Wait! Dissipates. Dissipates. Into the woods. An illusion. No. The Skull Knight, I will call it, instead of the Knight of Skeleton. Check that out for an appearance and a goddamn, when a mysterious skeleton appears right in front of you and goes, hey, in 1 year, I'm just gonna, hey, do you mind if I spit a bit of prophecy at you? Bit of destiny? Bit of causality? You want a bit of fucking cryptic messaging? In 1 year, hence shall be the time of the eclipse. I wonder what that means. Surely it'd be nice. Everyone get their cameras out, take some photos. Don't look into the sun, you will go blind. Now we go to rainfall over the castle grounds. As Princess Charlotte looks out into the cold. Now the snow will melt. Please hurry to bed, Your Highness. You will catch a cold. You will catch cold. I do apologize for any translation in these. This is the best that I can do right now. As, you know, shipping delays and waiting for my future volumes, and this does allow me to get out those episodes much, much faster, and then I get to sit back and relax and open and read through those books in my own time in future when I'm doing replays how do you rereads? I guess is what it's called. I'll reread them because I will certainly be rereading them because there's gonna be like this is a long story, so I'll definitely be needing to reread some earlier stuff that I can call back to. So digital reading is great, but then I can, you know, sit back in a chair, big old book with a brand of sacrifice on the front. Those deluxe editions are beautiful. I can't wait to have a full collection. And here's hoping by the time a full collection is released, Berserk might be finished, or, you know, officially confirmed to be continuing. Who knows? At this current time, by the way, of me recording this read-through of Berserk, I believe chapter 364 of Berserk has recently come out. So we're on our way there. We're at chapter 37, just 330-ish to go. 330-ish chapters to go. Yes, you are dismissed for the day. Her Highness seems depressed, that she does. Lord Julius, Lord Adonis, and even Her Majesty the Queen have all died in succession, and it all happened as soon as Griffith arrived. I'd be gloomy too if I lost 3 relatives in a row. She only likes Griffith. She doesn't really care about the other 3. But Lord Julius and Lord Adonis aside, Her Highness disliked Her Majesty so much. Don't be foolish. So much the more because they were after... So much the more because they were, after all, parent and child. Charlotte walks away from the window. There's a thump at the window. She turns around. And standing in the tree, looking through the wet, rainy window pane. Huh? Is something the matter? It's nothing. Go. She opens her door, very nervously. Lord Griffith, what in the world are you doing? In the rain, and at this hour? Good evening, Princess Charlotte. It would cause a terrible uproar if it were known that a gentleman had entered the palace alone this late. If anyone were to see you... Therefore, if Her Highness doesn't object, would she permit me to enter her room? If someone were to see me now, it would inflict much damage upon your honour. Besides, it's rather difficult to keep one's balance out here. Yes, of course. Come in. Surely nothing bad is going to come of this, and everything is going to be fine. This is one of those moments where, you know, it's one of those scenes where it's like, if you've watched the anime, you're not gonna forget moments like this. When I forget like parts where I'm like, oh, I can't remember if this happened or not, or like this battle or this interaction. There are moments like this when you're like, you're never gonna forget moments like this. For, you know, and that can be for good reasons for some scenes and for bad reasons for other scenes. Your pardon. Forgive me for dripping so much water into a lady's chambers, and for my impoliteness in visiting so late. Charlotte rushes into his chest. I've missed you since that day. Half a year ago, ever since we parted that morning you went to war. I've been so scared ever since that day you left. I'd wake up so many times, breathless from nightmares, that you had died on the battlefield. And then once you came back safely, that dreadful thing happened at the Victory Bowl. I passed out. When I woke up then, it was my stepmother who... I never did manage to come to terms with her. I didn't even try. Nothing but frightening and sad things have happened. I've been so alone. Why? Why didn't you come? Come to see me sooner than this. Oh, man. Oh, Griffith. Griffith. And he forcefully kisses right into Charlotte's mouth. and that is the end of the Skull Knight chapter. That's the end of chapter 37, so we'll move right on in to chapter 38. Okay, so start of the Everlasting Night, chapter 38. As we're witnessing a kiss, and everyone's all a bit surprised except for Griffith here, and they're just kind of doing the whole thing, and yep, more kissing on the panel there. There you go. And then Griffith goes for a bit of the old touchy-feely, and Charlotte's blushing. She's like, wow, Griffith, I just really, wanted someone to, show me a bit of empathy in this moment. Maybe listen to my feelings, because I'm kind of going through some stuff right now. But sure, we'll do this, I guess. Even though I'm saying no. No! To which Griffith then pushes Charlotte onto the bed. And Griffith going, "Are you afraid? Take all the frightening and sad things and cast them into the fire." Griffith doing some stuff there. You're doing some stuff. Some stuff. I don't know what. They're doing things. Good thing I have no idea what they're doing. It sure is raining. Have you guys seen Griffith? A fluke, I tell you, a fluke. I shay no good. Isn't that right? Shay and show, little ricket. Hope I haven't seen him. Nope, I haven't seen him since what happened today. Casca going for a walk. Finding Guts's leftover chest plate, shoulder pauldron, and broken straight sword. She holds it close. As we see flashes of something here, I have no idea. This just doesn't. I have no idea what's going on there. Nothing's happening. And then, yep, there's still nothing happening on these panels right now. Except for Guts saying, "You believe that, don't you?" Yep. Nothing happening. Nothing happening on these panels. Take care. I actually think, it's insane how much is being shown in these shots. By the way, like, it's basically, they went there. They really went there. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. Yeah. That's all I'll say about that. It's not good what Griffith is doing, and that's never good. Oh my god, especially when it affects so many of these characters so differently, especially when we've read Guts's backstory and we know his childhood upbringing. These affect people deeply. Griffith is about to learn that actions have consequences. As Casca stands by the window staring outside, a maiden going to go and check up on Charlotte peeks through the keyhole only to see something happening. Don't know what. And she decides to leave. Walks away with that one. Griffith holding himself and scratching away at his skin once again in a similar fashion that he did when he was when he had his time with the with the big creepy dude man, who is also a horrible character. He's also horrible. And there you go. That's the hawk sitting in his nest of shame and sadness. Charlotte wakes up the next day to an empty room. Lord Griffith? Lord Griff? And then the lucky charm, essentially, that Charlotte had given Griffith lays on the bed. She is in pain, and she looks out onto the blood-stained sheets. She's like, uh-oh. To which Griffith is hightailing it out of there for him to land over the castle gates and... Oh, Griffith, if it is not the consequences of your actions, sir, you really kind of messed up there, didn't you, bud? Maybe don't, maybe don't do that. I mean, that's a good place to start. Is like, maybe don't do what you just did. Well, if it isn't His Excellency, the future White Phoenix General. Why on earth is the White Hawk sneaking out of the palace at this hour? Right. My sword. That's right, Griffith. You went to fight Guts instead of letting him leave. And your sword is busted. No doubt the details will be determined without haste later. Circumstances pending, you may have committed treason against Midland's royal house. Take him away. I beg you, your weight, Majesty. I beg you, wait, your Majesty. In any case, this is the word of an inexperienced court lady. Perhaps she mistook what she saw in the dark. To suspect Her Highness based on that. Silence! Father. Whatever is the matter coming here so early? Even if you are my father, you should never just barge into an adolescent girl's room without permission. How thoughtless. Please depart. He pulls away the sheets. Don't! To see blood-stained sheets. Evidence all over this room of what happened the night before. Charlotte. And that is the end of the start of the Everlasting Night. Chapter 38. Like, goddamn. Also, like, last episode was one of the rare moments where we were, because we never really get a scene like this, but we were in Griffith's head with the fight against him and Guts, and we don't get that. We don't get that often at all. You know, we don't get that often. If at all. He's very vocal and he speaks to all of the other characters, but we don't know what's going on in here. Only what he says. This is like one of the, like, there's so much going on in his head right now that we are not currently aware of. In the way that he is processing this sort of grief and events, you know. But we move into chapter 39 now, which we know how this is going to go, don't we? You know how this is going to go. So chapter 39 of Berserk leaves us with Griffith in the castle's torture chamber. The Fallen Hawk. Griffith. Like, for Griffith to ascend in the way that he has, almost right to the top, almost right to the top. So many victories, earning the favor of everyone, becoming nobles, and he let his ownership of guts cloud his vision, and then instead of processing that normally, he took it out on somebody else and didn't think about how that was going to actually play out. And this is where he ends up. Which is absolutely crazy. Is absolutely crazy. Like, this is rough. It had been my great hope that someday you would have shouldered a large part of Midland's army as a military genius. Those words I said to you then were no fiction. There were not a few who slandered your group as a band of thieves, but I didn't think so. Each time the band of the Hawk distinguished itself on the battlefield, it heightened my assertion. For some time I've held that a knight's merit is not derived from lineage or social position, but that the stress should instead be placed on his actions and use of resources. However, right across the chest with that whip. A thief is still a thief. Was your common blood not good enough? My foolish daughter. It's as if she doesn't understand what it means to be of her status, the importance of the succession of royal blood. The princess of a kingdom behaves with the rashness of some townsgirl. Her frivolity is excessive. But even so, even that foolish, frivolous girl, on the face, is everything to me. I would give myself, even this kingdom, in exchange for her. She's my whole life. Because, he has lost, her mother, his first wife. And didn't bother loving the second one very well, as we know. All he has left is Charlotte. What value is there in this world? Wars rage on and the people's lives are lost like they were insects. After how many decades of war and how many tens of thousands of corpses, we've finally built a time of remembered peace, but it's only for an instant. On the underside, the monster named war is always seeking new blood, starting to brew itself anew. In the face of that monster, the will of one's land's king is powerless, the wisdom of one man is folly, and yet I cannot cease being king. There's no way I can stop. In this blood-stained, meaningless world, if there is one single ray of hope to be found, it is warmth. Only warmth covers and protects me from this world. As he bashes Griffith right in the middle of the chest with the handle of the whip. You've taken the one flower that gives me that warmth and plucked it. Unforgivable! Alas, my poor Charlotte. I've brought her up for 17 years, she knowing no impurity. Now that she's given herself up to the sport of a commoner, I'd rather to have been with Princess Charlotte. Would have had her yourself? No. Don't you want her to have you? What are you? I had thought it was strange. In Princess Charlotte's 17 years, there must have been many profitable proposals of marriage. Rather, political marriage is the way of the world for warring nations, but you've refused to let go of her. The great king on the throne of Midland, once renowned with majesty throughout all lands, is actually nothing more than a lonely, miserable old man who can't find any reason to live beyond his beloved 17-year-old daughter. You've lived on by resigning yourself to the monster you envision, but you've by no means tried to harness that monster. While you were born to the sword and called the throne and held it, it was nothing more than a burden to you. How dare you? You've done nothing more than not fail. How worthless. Silence! Honestly, I think it's like, oh my god, this whole chapter, this whole story thing is just like, it's gross. Obviously, we have Griffith forcing himself upon Charlotte, who's literally a minor, and completely innocent in this situation. She does, have feelings for Griffith, and that's like natural with how a lot of people perceive him as like this angelic, holier than thou angel figure, who's the best of the best. But for Griffith to act upon that in such a way is gross. And then for him to also call out Charlotte's father for effectively wanting Charlotte to want him is also putrid. And then just the fact that while Griffith is being completely tortured and there's no way out of this for him, he taunts the king with that information. He decides that, yep, I'm gonna just, while I'm tied up getting tortured, let's just keep it going. Let's just make it worse for myself. He gets effectively like wrapped with that whip right around the chest. Oof. God. This is like, the fact that you can wince at like the still images of this, like this is pretty fucked up. I've seen some shit, right? I've seen some stuff. You see a lot of gore, you see a lot of stuff in video games, in media, and all that kind of stuff where you can get desensitized to it. And sometimes like you can even look at a drawing that's drawn a particular way and you can really imagine the ferocity of those swings, of those whips and lashes. And this is something that I've praised throughout this read through, is the way that movement and speed is conveyed in this is always very, very effective. Like you can feel every one of those lashes. Silence! Silence! Be silent! What the hell do you know? What does a fool like you know of being king? The land, the history, the lives of the people, all on your shoulders. What do you know? Even the guards don't know how to fucking feel about this. As Griffith is just like shredded chicken at this point. He's no longer a falcon, he's a shredded chicken. Fine then. I wonder if that look will last forever. Torturer! I love how he literally just calls out like it's not even like someone's name or like the title is literally Torturer? Shire. Oh my god. Yes, Shire. Do whatever you wish with this man. He has sinned gravely against Midland's royal house. You're certain? However, you must not kill him. However feebly, he shall live another year. Oh no, another year? Whatever could that mean? Why would he live for at least 1 year? Certainly for no reason, right? There's nothing that's going to happen in a year's time, right? He shall be made to see the gravity of his crime while he yet draws breath. Listen, I forbid you to tell anyone anything about this. By my royal judicial power, I charge this man personally with treason against Midland's royal house. I must somehow protect my daughter's dignity. If I were to hear about this from anyone else, even just a trifle, they and their entire household, without exception, will be sentenced to death. Yes, sire. You are young. No doubt your heart burned with dreams and ambition. If you had but known your place, you might have possibly attained them. No, this must have been because you're young. It's disappointing that the White Hawk of the battlefield would destroy himself over such a worthless matter. I never would have guessed. This is the end of your dreams, your ambition, everything. The hawk has fallen to earth. It will never take flight again, as the door shuts on Griffith in the torture chamber. This is so gruesome. And we haven't even seen anything yet, have we? Of this. We ain't seen nothing yet. Where is Charlotte? Until a bit ago she had been crying, but the doctor gave her medicine and she just fell asleep. Until I say otherwise, no one is to come near this room. And triple the current number of palace guards. Charlotte. The years have so brought out her mother's face. So he touched these lips. Stop it. Stop. No. So this body was touched by his tongue, his fingers, as he trembles with his hand. Oh, and then... Oh, my God. This is rough, dude. And then... oh, my God. He, yep. Just, the way that this is fucking drawn too, like the way that the king is, like, his face is so shaded. He's drawn so disgustingly. Why? Oh my God, dude. Oh, it just gets worse. Like you scroll down and you're like, cool, can we move on? And I'm like, it just gets worse. Charlotte's just screaming no. Like, oh God. Berserk, baby. It's not for the faint of heart. Deals with some pretty fucked up shit. Yes. Worthless. This is worthless. That's the end of the Fallen Hawk. I cannot wait to be far and away from this. I cannot wait to be far away from whatever the hell is going on here as we now move into chapter 40 and we let that load. Demise of a dream. How's that for a chapter cover art too? Demise of a dream. And we're still in it. We're still in it, dude. Oh, no, Charlotte screams and pushes him off of her. He falls into the ground. She's literally trembling with fear at his literal disgusting goblin face. Wait, Charlotte, and again he tries to thrust himself upon her because he cannot contain himself, and then tries to do stuff, and then Charlotte kicks him in the face. And then this dude's literally disgusting. And then stuff is happening, and I just can't believe this is what I'm seeing right now. As Charlotte screams out for Lord Griffith, who is not going to be able to come to her aid. Charlotte then well and truly gives a ferocious kick right into his face, like busts his face up. Rightfully so, well deserved. Busted his face up. Who then sprints out and rushes out of the door, slamming the door behind him. Save me. Save me, Lord Griffith. Damn you. Damn you, Griffith! I mean, you're both pretty messed up individuals. I don't really think that was Griffith's fault at all. Griffith did a whole other thing that was fucked up and messed up that is his fault. But you always wanted to do this, and now you're just kind of messed up. Like, when you read it in Guts' chapter, in his backstory and what he goes through, you know what happens, and it doesn't need to be shown. You're just like, man, that's rough. That's really hard hitting. Gets to this point. It gets to this point. They're like, what if we just really got into the details and really just showed you how messed up humans can be? What if we did that? And I don't like it. Goodbye, cruel world, because the world is so cruel. What could this be about? Griffith calling us out here suddenly. Well, I don't think that's true, guys. I think he's a bit occupied. Griffith calling us out here suddenly. I'm guessing training? Without any equipment? Yeah, by the way, hey guys, can you come out? In like the middle of an open field? Don't bring anything. Just don't bring anything, right? Without any equipment? Then it's riding practice, right? He never came back to the barracks yesterday. I guess he really was in shock. Dumbass. Is Griffith the type who'd let that get him down? Corcus just proving he doesn't know Griffith at all. Yeah, but... Will you give it a rest? Look here, Griffith ain't gonna fall apart just because that jerk split. Corcus. Captain Guts. Everyone respects Captain Guts. Still, Griffith is sure late. Pippin senses something. What's up, Pippin? Everyone take cover! Huh? Pippin shouted. This is great, by the way. He's literally just like, everyone take cover! Everyone's like, Pippin, what? Hailstorm of arrows. Piercing the band of the hawk. What the? Enemies? Oh man, Rickett takes an arrow to the arm. Or like to the right ear. Pippin grabs him. Hey, look! And as they look up, they see troops. Has Tudor driven across the border? No, that's Midland. The Midland army? They're mercilessly shooting with crossbows. Son of a bitch! What the hell's going on? Are we gonna bite it here? Oh, Pippin shielding Rickett by taking an arrow to the arm too. God. Form ranks! If we scatter and run, we're all dead. Why? Get into wedge formation. Why? We'll break through at one point and escape. Sis, look out! God damn. Griffith. Like, it is crazy how much of a turn this takes. Griffith's at the top. Last volume. Volume 9 just went, hey guys. Griffith's fallen right down to rock bottom. And then when he gets to rock bottom, he'll go a little deeper than that. You're amazing. 'Tis much torture and you haven't made a peep. I've never seen such. That's the leader of the Hawks for you. I am so moved. Let me do whatever I want with such a beautiful, splendid one like you. The king's so gracious. Oh, that's great. Neat. Can I keep this? To which it goes, opens its eye, the balet. Yeah. Oh man, I hate that he, like, the one thing that Griffith had left. What a waste! I went and dropped it. As it falls into the sewers. And that is the end of Demise of a Dream. And that was the translated chapter 40. You are reading English translated chapter 40. That's it. That's the end of Demise of a Dream. That's the demise of Griffith's dream right there. And with that one, guys, we will bring this episode to a close, where most of it is censored. It's all disgusting. And it is humanity at some of their lowest points and most heinous, vile acts. It really does showcase some of the darkest parts of humanity and desire and greed. And it's really intense. It's really intense and serious stuff. But all in all, if it's anything, it's wrong. You know. Thank you so much for watching along with me. This was pretty tough. It is pretty tough. Obviously, have to censor most of it because reasons. But next episode, we will be starting with chapter 41 and beyond. So hopefully, fingers crossed, less vile acts of humanity. But I have a feeling that I'm going to probably be getting a lot more than that later on. So we will have to see how we go. We've hit one of those points, and we got to keep on going, as Skull Knight would say, as a fellow struggler. So we'll bring this episode to a close. Again, appreciate you guys coming along the journey with me, even at these very low points. Not in terms of quality or storytelling or anything like that. I'm not negatively bashing the manga or the storytelling at all. It's just very confronting, very real imagery and themes that's shown in such a grotesque way that it really is like a lot. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Thank you.